Peace, 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 peace. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is the Lenny Reed Pod. I'm your host, Lenny Reed. We over here on the LR Pod Network. That's the video side. If you want to watch the video, come on over here. I'll show you how to get here. I'll tell you how to get here. Okay, well, welcome. Let me break this down real quick. Break everything down. You know, I got to try to go through my whole little spill because people be saying, yo, you don't be saying stuff. You be saying different things every time. All right, we're gonna try to do this right. Welcome to the LR Pod Network, powering the Lenny Reed Pod. Okay. LR Pod Network is the production, and also the home is the Patreon with all exclusive content. Okay. And a couple other series up there that you can watch. This is a podcast about money and leisure. Money, how to make money, the basis of money, how money is not real, but also controls lives, right? And leisure is anything from, having fun, drinking, going on trips, hanging out with your boys, hanging out with your wife, whatever. That's leisure. So I cover all of that. And all of this, you can get, basically the headquarters of all of this is IamLennyReed.com. That is my website where everything comes together. This is episode 291. And the topic today is, hold up, instead of telling y'all, just show y'all, hold up. Instead of telling y'all, let me just show y'all. Bam. Quit your job in 2025. Now, we going to get into why I think that's a good idea, right? I salute the people that have been trying to leave their job for years now, and it's just no way out. They just have no way out. There was nothing in your grasp to replace your income. But hopefully today this will help. Hopefully today I can at least come up with a couple things that could probably help you get a better situation where you can take care of it. But I have another important announcement. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor on this podcast, on the Monday show or on Friday Night Motivation Show, feel free to reach out through the contact section on our website for more information. Link is in the description. Just go up there and, I'll basically send you everything you need to know and how it works for you to, each sponsor will be one sponsor for the whole podcast. So you would get, I guess, I would say something, read your ad or say something at the beginning, the middle, and at the end. All right. One sponsor per show. All right. Also, so let's get into this, man. Now, the issue I've been having with a lot of people is, hey, man, I hear you talking about leaving your job and getting stuff going on, but how can I get started? What can I do? And the good thing about that is people have interests, right? Like some people be good at my aunt, she was basically good at taking old furniture, sanding it down, right? And she go thrift shops, pick up, nightstands and shit like that and wood chairs. And she'll sand it down and then she'll, repaint it or stain it and then resell it. Now, can that make, the amount of money that your job, your 9 to 5 is paying? No. But you can add that into the fold. And you want to get something that, will basically top the other one. So if you did that and plus probably 3 or 4 more other things, you will probably be able to screech. And when I say screech, if you pulling in $4,000 a month as your job and you're able to $3,050, right? You didn't clearly make $4,000 a month, but you're off by 50. That's good enough. That's good. I think you can really get something going with that, Seems like this audio is acting up. So that's the main thing. It's like getting something going, getting something together, that's probably what the best thing would be in this situation. You understand what I'm saying? So, hold on. Yeah. So, I wanted to go over, I guess, a couple reasons why I think you should quit your job. I'm not going to just leave y'all hanging, saying, "Oh, you should quit your job," and just leave it like that. I think everybody have a reason. First thing that I would say is trading time for money. I think that is I don't know. I don't even know how that started, but it just seemed like the most bullshit. Trading time for your money. So I go somewhere and I work 8 hours and I get paid, I don't know, $15 an hour, $20 an hour, right? So just imagine being somewhere doing something and somebody walks up to you, whatever that hour is, you bust your ass, right? And they just handed you $20. Bam. Okay. And, you work 8 hours. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You got your money, you looking at your money, you like, what the fuck? I did so much more work than what I just made for this day. But what it is it's weekly, or some people bi-weekly. Like the bi-weekly people, my God, I don't even see how y'all survive getting paid bi-weekly. So the way it gets you is during the course of the weeks or week, you get more of a lump sum, and it's able just enough to pay your bills, just enough to pay off what you have to pay off, right? Or at least pay down on something. So it's sort of like, it's giving you that extra push, but it really doesn't matter because it's an empty void. Now, on the other hand, you see people out there, renting boats and renting houses for $10,000, $4,000, I don't know, $20,000 a month or a week. And you can barely make your rent, which is a $2,000, $1,500. What is the difference between you and them? There is no difference. There is no difference at all between you and them. So that's something we're going to figure out today. That's something we're going to try to go through and get everything situated. So let's go over a few reasons why I think you should consider quitting your job in 2025. So one thing that I heard a lot, and not just I heard it through multiple entities, multiple channels or whatever, is lack of growth and opportunities. Now, when you stay at a job for a long time, you basically set an extreme work of how they want to pay you. You probably get a bump every year, 4 bumps a year, and you consider that cool because you are comfortable. You know the job, you probably settled into the job, and you know the people at the job. So you're comfortable. You're great. Cool. Long as they feed you a couple cent, 50 cent, $1 a year, or whatever that is. Some people don't even get bumps. But long as you are fed something, you feel better. You feel like a plate. But you can actually leave that company and get another bump. Like they say, people that stay at companies longer than 10 years are basically getting robbed. While that company will value somewhat when it comes to like trophies and non-monetary shit, will value you being at their company for 10 years. They give you a plaque. Come on up here, Mr. Reed. Man, you've been here for 10 years and it's been the safe worker. Okay, what the 10-year check at, man? Got a 10-year check? Nah, it's no 10-year check. Now, what we do, we give you a pat on the back. We want to see you here for another 10 years. We want you to retire here, sir. Another one that gets people is a toxic work. I can never say toxic. Work environment. So, you got negative people. Poor management is another heavy one. Workplace harassment. If you're a beautiful lady or just a lady that's, doing whatever she's doing, she looking good, smelling good. You got the guys in there going crazy. More than likely you being harassed. More than likely. Unless you running through the office on some wild shit, and then it's the reverse. But poor management. We all know a manager that shouldn't be managing. Like, yo, my G, how the fuck you get this job, bro? Like, I can do it better than you, and you probably went to school for this, right? So that's one of the things that you could say would be an issue. Um, like I said, negativity. If the morale at the job is not there, what makes you think anything else is going to be great? There is nothing stating that something is going to be great because the morale at the job is that way. So that's basically it. So a work-life balance. Now, if a job sort of always encroaches on your personal time, or somehow it affects your health or your relationship. Just say you're working at a job and you're not getting sleep. You probably work at night, you're not getting sleep, and you're just all over the place. You drink a lot of coffee, not drinking water. That can affect your health. And also, you working too much. Your wife is not taken care of properly. And then there you go. Jody slips into the back door. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody wants Jody in their house. So what you going to do in that situation where your work balance is off, the relationship is off, your wife don't care, she's messing around, you're not getting paid, it's the work environment is not right, everything is just goes to shit. And some people do crazy things, and I hope you never get to that point, right? Another one is underutilizing skills or mismatch roles. So if your talents are like, I don't know, unappreciated, or you basically suck at what you're doing because you want to do something else at the job, but they think this is good for you, and you're not able to, work on your strengths, that sort of goes towards you, and they look at you a different way. So in a situation like this, if you can quit your job, you get somewhere that you are shining. You want to be somewhere that you are good, you are focused, and the job is relatively easy. Nobody want to be at a hard job, 6 days a week or 7 days a week. Five. Who is working 7 days a week? 5 days a week busting your ass. Nobody want that. So that's another thing that people need to understand and possibly figure it out. So, let's see. And the last one would be better opportunities await. Now, when you go through, and I'm gonna run down what I just said, the lack of growth and opportunities, right? Toxic work environment, which is, that's never good. And, work-life balance, which is, I don't think people really get a good work-life balance. Unless you're making money doing something else, your work-life balance is not going to be what you think it's going to be. Okay. So I remember coming up, it was jobs that, I had to do. I worked at McDonald's. I remember mopping and sweeping the floor at night, and, everybody outside that was my age, probably a little bit older. And, they had the girls, and they was out there, having fun and just having a good time. And I'm sitting over here sweeping and mopping and just feeling like, man, I'm missing it. My life is this is not why I came. But a couple years after that, I was able to get on a straight line and figure it out. But I can imagine somebody that's sort of stuck in the midst. So just say if you're at a certain age and you work at McDonald's, preferably over 25. I'll say over 30. Now, that will probably be an issue. But people got to make money. People got to do what they got to do. So I had a few jobs. I remember selling candy. I got robbed at that job. What else? Shoveling snow. That was probably like my first, my first line of entrepreneurship. Living in New Jersey at the time, it seemed like it don't snow like that no more, but it always snows. As soon as September got here, October rolled around, snow. So we used to just, get a snow shovel, go door to door, trying to shovel people's yard for like $20. We'd rack up. We'd do like 5, 6 houses. You can only do so many houses because these houses had a nice size to them. The driveway was nice, so you really get burnt out quick. So you couldn't probably really do no more than 5 to 10 houses. 10 houses was pushing it. But so I can see how jobs in this like can be in a situation. And there was a few jobs that I went to lunch, never came back. I straight dipped. There was mainly warehouse jobs, but I remember one job. I was it's like I stand up and I pull this lever down and I drill holes into metal. Drill holes in it. That was my job. Drill holes in the metals, right? So in certain circumstances, I guess the lubrication of the drill was some kind of oil. So every time I drill in, like some kind of smoke would just come up. And the smoke would make me sleepy. You know what I mean? It's like exhaust. You know how exhaust make you sleepy? So the smoke would make me sleepy, and then I would just nod. And you know the crazy part is, you know, people used to come up and tap to me, like tap me on the shoulder, like, yo, you good? You straight? And I used to just nod, and it was so fucking embarrassing, man. And I'm trying to figure out, I got sleep. I'm not on any kind of drugs. What is going on here? And then, one situation, I'm like, you know what? I know what it is. I know what it fucking is. That oil. So I'm in the lunchroom. I'm like, man, let me go back and see what it is. So after the lunch, I went back to see what it was. And I noticed as I'm dipping the smoke now, I got my, my head to the side and I'm pulling the lever down. I'm not getting sleepy, but it was sort of out of frame. So it made me more tired, right? So the next day, came to work, went to lunch. I looked at my brother, he worked there too. I said, yo, I'm out of here, dog. He said, yo, you quitting? I said, yo, I'm out of here. He's like, oh, I bet, I'm coming with you. We left on lunch. So when it was time to go back, shit, I don't know what they had planned, but we was gone. So that's the kind of thing that some people can do when you're young. But when you're stuck in the confines of a bad job or a job that don't appreciate you, or, your balance is off, it's nothing you can do. Definitely if you got bills, if you already started to pay the monster. For those that don't know, the monster is basically your house, your car note, and just bills. So you can't explore jobs. You can't go to jobs, say, okay, I'm gonna stay here for about, let me at least try it out. If I don't like it, I'll find something else. No, nigga, you gotta feed the monster. That monster hungry every month. So there's no looking for a job and trying to figure out which one is good for you. No, you gotta calculate how much the monster costs every day. And then hopefully, you can get a little bit of something off free, not free, but get something back. So now I told you I wanted to help y'all. So I just gave her, and also let me put to this first list that we first did. Out of all of these things, I want to put something. I think you can make more money by yourself. That's the hardest one. The easiest part is just to get another job. Hope for a better job with, a better way to express yourself and money and this and that. Yeah, you could do that, but it's mainly to get out of the system, get into your own system. You got to finesse the write-offs. And our write-offs is not going to be like Fortune 500 write-offs, but write-offs is write-offs. Write-offs go against how much you made. And the more you make to earn income, the more they tax you. If you can break down that earned income, you get taxed less. All right. So I want to go over a few things on different ways to make money after quitting a job. During the course of the years, I know people that left the job and returned. That got to be a rough one. People that left the job and still, doing their thing. That's good to see. So I understand where the fear will come. It's a huge fear. I understand. It's just imagine you step out there and you got a house, you got the car, and somebody talked about a job that paid, I don't know, $5 more an hour than your job paid. And you said, man, if I can just skip over there, my money going to drop for about a good, I don't know, 6 months or so, a year. But when I slingshot back, I'll be making more money. You get over there, you jump. It's not what you thought. You sort of stuck in limbo. You can't find nothing else. Your car get repoed. Next thing you know, your family is, having issues. Something happened with your wife. She can't work. And all of a sudden you lose your house. Bam. That's how easy it is. So another thing that I would say here, that is a dire reason why I think you should quit your I think you should quit your job, your 9 to 5, is the robots are coming, man. And you know what's funny? People used to laugh and say, the robots is coming, or they coming. And I think you should do yourself some service to see whatever industry you're in, how long before your industry is taken over by robots. You need to find that out, because you need to ask people in the automotive, field, the factory field. You really need to figure it out, because when you turn around, it's just going to be too late. So get prepared on that. But let me get into, the money making, things that you can hit after you quit. All right. And then, also before you do that, before you quit, just figure out everything, calculate everything. If you're not ready for it, don't do it, because the last thing you want to do is have your house get evicted and you being homeless. All right. So the first one you got, and I think a lot of people can do this, is freelancing and consulting. Consulting is, just say you good at, I don't know, computers. You good at, apps and stuff like that, or social media. You can actually consult people on to bring that into their business, right? Or, different things. How to design websites, marketing, and all of that stuff. So that will help. And you can do that in the comfort of your home, and you can work from the comfort of your home permanently and still live your life, travel, and hopefully make more money than you did at your previous job. All right. Now, another one is pretty simple, is start a business or a side hustle. And that's mainly turning your passion. We all have passions. Some people got weird ass passions, right? They mess with dolls and shit like that. But other than that, people's passions, varies. My passion is this. I've been doing this for about 4 years, probably been on YouTube a little bit longer than that. And this is not lucrative. I mean, I went 3-something years without even getting paid, without making a dime. But I love what I do, because I started off talking about UFOs and secret shit and secret societies and different mysteries of this planet or space or whatever. And I thought that was dope. I thought a lot of people out there that was like me wanted to hear it. And I think that, transcended into what I'm talking about now. So I can talk about anything from money all the way to UFOs, all the way to relationships, because it is the experience that I brought up. So we all have experience in something. You just got to figure out what that something within you is. Everybody got something, man. So just sit back and say, damn, what am I good at? If it's, I don't know, having sex, which is kind of weird, but you could actually start something where people call you up and they tell you their issues, their sexual issues, and you try to help them with that. Yeah, that sounds crazy, but it's all about getting out of your job, and you want to stop trading time for money. Now, another one would be investing, but I think you need money to invest, right? That's like a given. So But also, if you studied, if you learn different techniques, you can probably sell that into some kind of coaching thing, right? Another one is content creation. And I guess I would be another person in that realm of content creation, because everything we have can be monetized. You can monetize YouTube, your podcast, blogs, TikTok, and just build an audience and, do what you do, build an audience and then flip the audience. I think that'd be dope when you pull the audience in talking about cars and other things that sort of people is keened onto, right? Relationships, this and that. You probably go viral if you say crazy, wild shit. If that's the kind of style you're going to do it. But as soon as you get them people in, you flip them, You might lose some, but now you got the wave behind you. And the last one would be online courses and digital products. I dabbled in this too when it comes to ebooks. I haven't did courses, templates, or any platforms that is into making websites and shit like that. I haven't did that, but I have 3 ebooks and I'm working on another one. I'm actually working on a podcast ebook. And that's basically, to sum it up. First of all, you have to be willing to take that chance and jump. Don't think too hard. Don't overthink it. Secondly, you got to have a plan, a map plan on what you're going to do when you get out here on your own. It can be the most minute thing, get a lawnmower, a riding lawnmower, a trailer for your car, and then just ride around and cut grass. Just look around. It's grass for days. It's not even enough people to service all this grass. And plus, you ask people, what their numbers are now when somebody's cutting, and then probably chop it in half. If you could do that. If you don't have a crew, you can do that because it's just you. So the goal of the fact is you have to get out your job before it's too late. And let me break down the too late aspect of it. Right now, if you leave a job, you can get another job if shit don't work out. So you start your hustle, you get going, you can probably do both of them at the same time and get shit popping, right? Because, the robot job ending saturation hasn't started yet. So basically, there's going to be a point where a certain percentage, 13%, all the way up to 30% of jobs are lost because of robots, automation. Next thing you know, you got that 30% is in the field looking for a job. So your chances of getting a job at that point is very slim. But now you got time to adjust, mess up, dust yourself off, get another job, because that field didn't start eliminating jobs yet. But once that robot field come, and 30%, 40%, 50% of jobs are lost, and you got that many people looking for a job, oh my God. Oh my God. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be an issue. You do not want to be looking for a job in that time. So, in that word, don't get caught with your pants down. Okay? And if you're going to ride your job out to the end, hey, what you gonna do? What can I say? If you feel lucky to ride your job out to the end, more power to you. But if you in somehow the textile field, you are in the warehousing field, you are in the truck driving field, you are in, service field, any kind of call center, banking field, all of these fields, the shit is coming. The wave is coming. So you probably want to get situated and jump, pull that ripcord before you have the skies crowded and you just bumping into everybody. Next thing you know, your parachute getting caught up in this person's parachute and y'all falling to the ground. You don't want that. You don't want that. Okay. So let me see. Now, I think we have time, but I wanted to talk to y'all real quick before I get out of here about the CEO that was killed, the United Healthcare CEO. The crazy thing is that's the insurance I am under. Now, when I first heard about this situation, I thought, that's kind of odd. Unless he had like an affair or something was going on, he did something with the money or pissed somebody off. But then the messages that was on the bullets came out. And that sort of hinted my other theory that was somebody services denied. You know, I have an issue, and I'm not the only one to have an issue with car insurance and insurance, all together. And my thing with car insurance is this. If I put in $500-$600 a month and I don't have a wreck, I don't have nothing, I should get some money back. I mean, I'm giving you $600 a month, and it can be 2 months, 2 years. I don't have a single accident. I have nothing happened to me. And I don't get no money back. What the fuck? How about if I go through a whole month, right? Whole month is what? No, that's probably not a premium. Just say I go through a whole premium about 6 months, right? 6 months to a year is a premium. So I go through a whole series, right? 6 months, no accident, straight squeaky clean. Can I get half of that shit back? Can I get half back, bro? Like, you just took $600 from me for 6 months, and I don't get shit back. And I ain't have no accident. I ain't cost you no money. So when you come with the healthcare, the situation is a little different because you pay into this system. You're paying heavily into the system. And you're going for treatment that might be a little bit shaky, or you might have underlying conditions, but you get denied this. Bitch, I've been paying you for 5 years. I ain't get sick one time. But now when I need something that's life-threatening, I need some kind of, something to help me out, and I get denied. So the scary thing that's going on here is, I don't know if this is going to turn out this way, but it seemed like homeboy went straight for the head. Now, if that's the case, a lot of these CEOs and head of corporations really need to watch their back out here, because this probably might send off a trend, and that trend is not nice. Because at the end of the day, when your job is to deny, I mean, that's how you get bonuses, is to deny. You want to see the finest print. What day did you have this accident? I had it on the 27th. Okay, well, you had a bill on the 26th and you didn't pay the bill. So actually, you laxed insurance and we can't play that claim. So I don't know. The moral of the story is shit is getting crazy. Alien shit getting crazy. The drone shit getting crazy. And I just think something is about to happen. Now, I'm for the shits. Like, sometimes I get bored. I be wishing the fucking asteroid just crushed through the goddamn clouds. But something is coming, right? Something is coming. So pay attention to that. But as far as this podcast topic right there, you see, quit your job in 2025. I suggest that be the case, guys. Let me give you a little rundown of how I think you should do it. Okay. The rundown is this. Okay. The rundown is quit your job. Find a business that you can do. And you write everything off, right? You write everything off. And just, go for the gusto. What's the worst that can happen? Get yourself situated. If you fuck up, if you slip, you get back on. You get back in line. You can do that, right? But if you don't sit at that job for another year, just bake, just rot. Now, if you out there with a twinkle, you got a thought, well, how can I do this? You just thinking right now, how can I make this possible to do what this dude's saying? That's a good start. That's a good start. I'll praise that. That's a good start. But if you're just saying I can't do it, I don't know, guys. All I'm saying is keep your eyes open. Something is going on. And plan for the future, because the future doesn't give a fuck about you. And one more thing, no regrets. All right, buddy. Y'all take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Peace.